As he regains consciousness.
The others too? One doesn't. It is here. The void is coming for us, gods. Coming to drink us. Obey me. Soon, unless you have already. You cannot. Like Lucian, you will be called to unite the powers of the Seven against the void. Like Lucian, either a new divine. You are my champion. So set off in pursuit of divinity. But you are. Now hurry. Hush, it's here. Run!
White-hot cold pierces your heart. The same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled. Strung.
What can you...
This place is strange. I cannot bear to have it pushed over me as we entered this place. I felt many lives extinguish in a single moment. But others still draw breath. They are sheltering below decks. The one who brought us here.
It was so down here. Just stillness.
The Red Prince's spirit stands.
Defeat I have been impossible. Impossible. No. The Red Prince does not perish. I will.
Ifan's spirit stares at you, seemingly through. He gives no. Ifan's eyes. He whispers. Then, before that, you could.
I still hear it. It's still there. It'll never leave me alone. It'll...
She clenches her.
Find it. Destroy it.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. Seeker's dead, Alexander missing, God-woken passengers deceased. And unless you want to die too, we need to go. There's no time. I can't hold us here. Brace yourself. A lot.
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body as your eyes adjust. Malady.
Let's not do that again anytime soon. Oh, don't start. It was all I could do to save a few of them. It's no mean feat bringing an entire ship full of unspent souls to the Hall of Echoes, you know. I managed all the interesting ones, though. You're welcome. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Even I know when to pay. Tell me what you saw. Oh. 1, spooky magic. 2, only half a demon, actually. My mother was a bitter elf named Loda. 3, just a bit of leftover effluvia from the spell. 4, more than I can count. 5, something too horrible to mention by the light of day. And now that I've answered every question a sane person could conceive to ask of me in this moment, let's carry on. What did you... I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend.
She inspects her fingernails.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Oh, what confidence you inspire. Luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any god-woken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh so fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister. As have I, but not in the ways a true god-woken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must resort. You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm. And you ought to, when you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities. I quite look forward to seeing it. Oh, she's got one of those things in... Give me your map. You're at the beginning of... Now, I must fly our faith shopping before you go. And in...
Yes. Huh. A tale of cloak. Wonderful.
She bows.
Imagine a black room. It's been your room for years. You know it by touch more than sight, for it's always dark. And when I say always dark, I mean always dark. You're either in the room or in the box, for it's in the box that you travel. You're only let out at night, because you only hunt in the night, with the Master's voice in your ears urging you on. And after it's done, you lie down in the box once more, with wet hands and mad red thoughts. You can't always get what you want. The thing is, the box didn't break me, though I confess it taught me to hate. One night, I killed a scholar. With my needle through his fragile old skull, he fell headfirst upon his writing desk, blood mingling with spit. It's when I saw the ink that timid thoughts of rebellion first bloomed. Back in my dark room, I dipped my needle that killed the scholar in his own ink, and engraved his name in my skin. I'd remember him. I'd honor... Of course.
She bares her left arm and shows you the name.
Mindarin. He was Turashar, a keeper of stories. People like him, the beloved dead, they kept me going. Then, one day, a gush of wind, a sliver of light. Light! A simple oversight that comes with habit. A door, left slightly ajar. That was all I needed to feel a rush of blood, a thirst for liberation. I tore at the shackles that kept me chained to the floor, iron thick as a smith's wrists. Of course they wouldn't budge, they never did before. But now that I saw the light, something welled up inside me, a raw and undeniable burst of power. The shackles broke, and next thing I knew, I was free. But the sun, oh, the sun. I had risen as if from the grave. Ain't over yet, honey. I was given my needle by the Master. Fine, if it means that much to you.
She draws her needle and holds it up between...
Go on. Ever so gently touch the tip.
Barely have you touched the needle's pinpoint surface when a thick droplet of blood wells up from your...
Sharp little mink. Sabil, this needle was forged in an altogether different world. It wasn't wrought upon a crude anvil, hammered into shape with rough blows. No, it was cast with demon precision. It is absolutely priceless. And it's you. The Master's own words. And he was right. As an instrument of assassination, it's absolutely priceless. But one day soon, he'll find out just how much he overspent on his gifts for little old me. Just why this needle is a girl's best friend. One might say I'm a bit of a sucker for poetic justice.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of. I don't know. I've never been one for worshipping. I always figured if Duna really existed, he'd show himself. I mean, am I really supposed to ask some invisible dwarf in the sky to grant world peace? Or give me a pony? Yeah, it sounded like a waste of time to me. But, then he showed himself. He said he could help me free our people if I helped him. And I left with more questions than when I started.
Just when I think this land holds no more surprises, I find myself in some place even more dismal than the last. Still, at least this is an interesting variation on dismal. How many times must I tell you? I have business in the Black Pits. We should head to the excavation.
She's something, all right. I question Siva's trust in her, but Malady's usefulness is self-evident. As Lucian said, you will be eternally gifted when you act in my name. Only as often as I need his guidance, Godwin. When I invoke Lucian's words, I invoke his deeds too. He stood for the defenseless when the Black Ring rose up. For all of us. For my mother, my father.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer.
I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise. I miss it.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating. Why, it was your ally, Malady, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. That you're, how did Malady put it again? Come now. You've seen this state of... And some without, I would imagine.
Tarquin pauses, taking you in.
You make me sound so mercenary. No, I'm... both wise and well-mannered. You'll go far, I'm sure.
Here we are. Reaper the Hunt. To be godwoken is all well and good, but above all, I've yet to find the Master. Somewhere further inland.